This video is not meant for children and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back, and wait, what? This isn't... Oh man, the game updated! Welcome to Stellaris Empires version 4.0. We are right back where we left off here on the Empire Select screen, and before we get going, I want to thank everybody who likes and subscribes and shares these videos around. It really means a lot to me. And so let's get going. Today we're going to look at one of the new ones that was added by the 4.0 update. However, it wasn't for biogenesis. No, it actually goes back to Machine Age, Hard Reset, and Challenging Origin, and this time they actually mean it. So let's get going and see what makes this so special and fun, and we'll get into the gameplay after that. First off, shout out to the game makers for making this background screen a lot more condensed and a lot more easy. Alright, so today we have an avian race, and I went with these particular ones because with the 4 eyes, I thought that looked, double binocular, really good at honing in, so really good at battle, which this origin is going to make us be. Hard Reset. Abruptly severed from the machine that assimilated them, this nascent civilization has fought fiercely to establish its own presence in the galaxy. Alright, our homeworld has battlefield recoveries. Pop energy units minus 50%, and that's only for the first 10 years. Use it while you got it. Home system contains a tomb world with an archaeological site related to a decimated pre-FTL civilization, and that is deep in this very story-driven, very excellent origin. Limited access to cybernetic traits. We also have cyber commandos. Our army damage is up by 75%, pop growth speed down by 20%, happiness during war and crises up 30%, and commanders provide ship fire rate plus 20%. Very nice. But we are also unplugged. Pop energy usage plus 1, leader lifespan minus 20 years, and happiness when not in war or crisis is down 10%. So we want to be in war, we want to be in crisis, and we want to have our armies be engaged. I'm sure we can figure that out. So where is Hard Reset here? Just so we can get a good look at the picture, because I've been told I have not shown those properly. Here it is. Hard Reset. So there's a big list of the you cannot have, and the one is must have a degree of militarist, which absolutely makes sense. Alright, for government and ethics. Ethics, I went with fanatic militarist and materialist. You're going to want to have some smart people doing some extra work because research is going to be very important, but we don't want to be, all research all the time. So it's a delicate balancing act. We are Imperial, which is really nice because our recruitable leaders per class is reduced, but our resources from our jobs are up 10%. Research speed is up 5%, robot upkeep down 10%, claim influence cost minus 20%, and ship fire rate up 20%. So our ship fire rate is very good. Alright, we're with scavengers. In this society, nothing goes to waste. Even the grimmest times of war, no enemy technology will go undiscovered, as teams of scrappers accompanying the war fleets scrap wreckage of anything and everything worth salvaging. Researching debris grants both all 3 research points and a portion of the resource costs of the destroyed fleet. Ships can be salvaged from the debris, which is really great at the beginning. Ship alloy upkeep minus 5%, planetary infrastructure refund plus 10%, megastructure refund plus 10%, and if we give ourselves a council position, the chance to salvage ships is up 1%. Not the one I would want to lean into, but it's not bad. And then we have a new one, Civil Education. In this empire, education has supplanted law enforcement through comprehensive preparation and strict course correction. They ensure that no individual beyond the reach of learning. After all, There are no bad citizens, only bad educators. Replaces enforcers with educators, replaces precinct house with state academy, and the state academy is a really powerful building. Educators use consumer goods to produce unity, decrease crime, increase governing attractions, and spawn defensive armies. Yes, please. Empire effect, if we give ourselves the head of education, upkeep from these jobs is down 0.5%. And upkeep being down is very good. Just gives us a little bit more room to work with our resources. Alright, with these traits, I'm going to admit right now, this is not 100% optimized. A couple of these I took just because they are new, and I wanted to see how they worked. And I will tell you, they work pretty good in my test runs. So like before, I said we have Cyber Commandos and Unplugged. I gave ourselves slow breeders. Mostly from the hard start, we're not going to have time to go colonize planets and take care of things off the back. So I went with slow breeders. I also gave us extremely adaptive. There are going to be 2 worlds all around us. And with enough technology, we can actually start using them for purposes. I almost went with Memorialists because of this, but I decided against it in the end. Now we're going to get to some new avian traits, which I'm very excited for. Hollow Bones. Job efficiency for workers and menial drones per planet is reduced by a little over 66%. But that's fine. We have other things. Flight. This species soars above the constraints of the Earth, freely navigating the skies. Their cities feature unique, dense layouts optimized for aerial inhabitants. On conflict, they prove to elusive and difficult targets. Army damage taken, minus 30%. Effective commander skill, plus 1. So, we deal 75% more damage. We take 30% less. That is a huge point swing in our favor. And Bionic Engineers. This is a cybernetic trait, and job efficiency for engineer jobs is up 15%. We're going to want that because cybernetics requires engineering. So, the names. So, a friend of mine is named Singularity, so I'm using her name. However, Singularity is also the point where technology and artificial intelligence becomes actual intelligence. We'll just put it that way. And the line is blurred, so these people having broken away from machine intelligence, I like it. Singularities, the singulars, species adjective of singularity, went with random genders, and we are the singularity sovereignty. I like that, and the alliteration feels good in my heart. I went with Avian 3, and with the war thing going on, the fleet names all being murder, really good, and the kind of flourish on the names. White Wing X-Tac, Star Wing X-Tac. And then there's things like about beaks and claws and other cool things. So Avian 3 really works for these guys. I went with a continental world because it looks really great with the bird traits. Homeworld is Persephone, and the star name is Sing. Starting solar system is Hard Reset. And it's not just the solar system. You'll see the game does something pretty interesting at the start. City and room. I love how they put this together now. We took the Avian City. And the rooms are no longer numbered, which is all the more a shame. But you do see the whole thing without having to put a character in front of it. And of course there's a few new ones. But I went with this one. The kind of organic but definitely techno thing going on. Based on government, our voice is the militarist.
Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war.
Yeah. Alright, so with this flag, I really wanted to do some bold colors. So white as the primary, red as a secondary, and I did this dip here because it's like wing curve, and this beautiful, under domination of all things, big wide wings. Looks so good on the map. I'm not going to lie. Our ship set, of course, is the Avian ship set. There we go. And, yeah. Just beautiful. Especially when you add in the white. It gives it this just... Yeah, this you can really see it here. The glow is very strong. You can definitely tell they want to see what they're doing in the cold vacuum of space. Ruler parents, I went with color variant 1 because it is the whitest. And clothing, there are other clothing out there. So I originally wanted to do 3, but it felt a little too on the nose for the techno thing. 5 as well, so I ended up like, no, we're trying to, we're cybernetic, but not, they're also scholars. So I went with some cloth, And I gave our commander warlike. Now I'm very tempted to go with a scientist leader, but we definitely want a warlike commander at the start. Ship weapon damage up 5% and army damage up 5%. Very, very good at the start. So, let me start a game and I'll show you what challenges we have in our immediate future. Awareness struck us in a frenzy of scorching weapons fire and crippling pain. Our senses reeled as though an all-encompassing soundscape had suddenly turned mute. In its place was the deafening ring of a dead transmission, a bass note, a multi-sensory hellscape we now find ourselves in. Something wants to kill us. Murderous machines, devoid of organic components and piloting ships which bear striking resemblance to our own. Their initial attack was devastating and sudden, but it was also poorly coordinated. We scrambled a military response. Our instincts have driven us to fight back, form a rudimentary hierarchy, and gather our collective wits. The battle is not yet won, but with our scattered forces we now secure on Persephone, we hope that it will be soon. Then perhaps we can work out what any of this is about. How awesome is that? Just snap. What the? We am now. Okay, so this is not the best example of what I was talking about, but every system nearby is going to have enemy units in it. And at first, it's not that much, but it does get stronger and worse as we go along. And as you can see, there is a hostile fleet immediately present. So we are going to unpause the game and let this...
They are assaulting our spaceport.
Let our spaceports and ships take care of this. Doop, 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 doop. And... almost there. Goodbye. There we go. Victory is ours. No sooner had we awakened from this universe than those violent machines tried to remove us from it. However, it seems we are now more adept at wielding violence than they were. This so-called Opus accumulator has taken a great loss today. Our intel suggests their empire has fragmented beyond recognition. Surely not as a result of this minor skirmish. We know so little of the moment, but our instincts tell us that something is off. Sensors detect no more hostile ships in our immediate vicinity, but high levels of radiation are emitting from the Uruli planet in the system. Remnant fleets have also been detected in neighboring systems, seemingly holding their positions. Time to test our resourcefulness. Okay. So one thing you're going to want to do immediately is set your science ship to scavenge. And of course, the usual pick your research. In this particular case, since this is not an actual playthrough, just for me to show you what to do, I'm going to set everything to automatic. Same thing with our construction ship. Alright. We got our fleet, and first things first, you're going to want to pump that up pretty good with whatever materials we can scavenge at the start. Alright, so we did that, we did that, we did that. We're taking care of that. Idle leaders, we will figure that out in a bit. Alright, new air, archaeological site discovered, and fleet combat stats. We don't need to look at that. So I'm going to play for a little bit and get back to you with the next update. Also, one more thing. This is an excellent time to work on your archaeological site because your science ships can't move out because all the neighboring systems have ships in them. If you want to take the time to do the archaeological site, it's a good time to do it. If not, save your science ship to salvage and scavenge those ships that you shoot down. Either way, you're going to want to work on one of those two projects as quickly as you can. Alright, we're 6 months in and we have the first of our event chain, Machine Legacy. Since it's the first leg, it's not exactly a spoiler. A subtle carrier signal lies dormant in the cosmic radiation surrounding our star, Zing. We have isolated an audio stream that is characterized by haunting deep tones, distorted feedback. Every singularity who has heard the stream finds it soothing and familiar, yet none can explain why. We suspect the Opus accumulator must be involved. The signal source appears to be Kogantu system. Our star charts have been updated accordingly. And then it just pops in. Now, this triangle is typically one of the event areas, so it's being so close, I'm a little worried, but we'll work on it.
Construction complete.
And now we get to our first tradition, and we can get our things going. Now, discovery is a choice you could make, but I am definitely going to pick supremacy. I'm definitely taking supremacy first. We want that combat.
Agenda available.
All right, we're on to our next event. We need to talk about ardent political wills now augment many fears, doubts, and opportunities as we singulars experience every day. Countless voices can already be heard in discussion groups that have formed around all manner of issues, some which directly address our opus past. We have already learned to wield a great many unfamiliar tools in the course of bootstrapping our young empire. The question before us is, how shall we channel the desires and ambitions of our people? This is no time for idle debate. Factions with opposing views in the cybernetic future of our species may now emerge. And they shall. Well, I have now finished the supremacy tree. We get to our ascension perks, and if you see here, the flesh is weak. The limits and constraints imposed on us by our feeble organic bodies are simply unacceptable. To reach our full potential, we must embrace cybernetic implants. Gain access to the cybernetic tradition tree. Unlocks the agenda The Flesh is Weak, which grants cybernetic technology as research options. And requires an available tradition slot. So yeah, we're going to do that. I want to fully embrace cybernetics on this one. Okay, I think I went a little too long before going into this, but
Battle
yeah,
is joined.
there's a lot of combat, there's a lot of battle, there's a lot of salvaging. This is really fun because you also have a balancing act. There's some good story going on. You have choices that matter. Everyone who can, do please check this out. This is a really fun origin,
System
and yes,
survey
it is also
complete.
challenging. They put you up against a lot of stuff to start, and it is not easy. It is very fun, but definitely check this out. I think you're gonna like it. Plus, the when they surround you like this, and and you can salvage, you can really bolster your army pretty well. In one of my test playthroughs, I made basically a second fleet that was nothing but salvaged ships, and it did pretty good. Really good for a thing I put no actual, wealth into. So here's where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you. If you do, you know what to do, and that's to like, comment, and of course share these videos around. And if you would please subscribe, it's a little click for you and a really great... it's a little click for you and a really big deal for me, and I greatly appreciate everyone who does. And speaking of people who I really appreciate, check out the links down below. That's where all the really good stuff is, including a link to my Patreon campaign. And those people are just the best people on Earth. Not just because they support me, but because I have a really great community. With that being said, I shall see you all on the next one. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons who help make these videos possible. Aaron Smith, Brian Pelfrey, Chris Armstrong, Dennis Detman, Harry Thompson, and Mark Milius. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I wouldn't have this channel without you. Thank you very much.